Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions. Thank you again so much for our time together. I want us to look at a fascinating thought today. You see, sometimes when we think people are attacking us, we think of a fist fight, we think of gossip and lies, but we don't ever think of one of the most prolific attacks that came against Jesus as a leader. The attack of questions. What? Yeah, the attack of questions. Now follow with me quickly here. In Matthew chapter 22, beginning with verse 15, then the Pharisees met together to think of some way to trap Jesus into saying something for which they could accuse him. So they sent some of their disciples, along with supporters of Herod, to ask him this question. Now we come on down to verse 23. The same day, some Sadducees stepped forward, a group of Jews who say there is no resurrection after death, and they posed this question. And then we come down to verse 34. But when the Pharisees heard that he had silenced the Sadducees with his reply, they thought up a fresh question of their own to ask him. One of the great attacks that will come against a leader, whether it's in business or anything else, is people who want to make a fool out of you in public. They want to discredit you in public. And they don't do it by lies or slander. They do it by a trap question. Now, with each one of these trap questions, Jesus just put them in their place. I mean, he just put them in their place. To the Herodians and Pharisees, they said, should we pay taxes to Caesar? They tried to trap him with a political question. And Jesus said, well, look at the coin. Whose name and whose picture is on it? Caesar. Well, then give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Trap escaped. Then the Sadducees came. They didn't believe there's a resurrection. And Jesus said, no. There is a resurrection. God said, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said, number one, you don't know the power of God. And number two, you don't know the scriptures. Then the Pharisees came back with a third question. And they wanted to ask him about all of this stuff about the most important commandment. And he, again, answered their question. Pastor, how do you stop people who are trying to trap you with questions? You ask a question of truth. Verse 41, then surrounded by the Pharisees, Jesus asked them a question. What do you think about the Messiah? Whose son is he? Now, he knew they were stuck, because if they say that he's the son of David, then they're going to say one thing, but they didn't want to answer him. So all of a sudden, they said, well, we can't answer you. After that, no one dared ask him any more questions. A question of truth silences trap questions. Now there's the principle. A question of truth silences trap questions.